Welcome to the Delmarva Almanac. Each week we connect you to the best of Delmarva. Like other almanacs, our aim is to tell you a little bit about our past, our present, and events in the near future. I'm your host, Dana Kester McCabe. Maureen Farrell was a postal carrier from rural New York who took up painting full-time in her retirement. Currently, she creates expressionistic mixed media works, but initially she was just looking for something to relieve stress.
In 1994, at the age of 47, I was looking for a class of meditation, and I was having a difficult time at work, and my husband noticed a class for watercolor, and I said, I can't draw, I can't paint. And he said, it will be meditative, just try it. And I took a beginner's class for adults, and I absolutely loved it. From then I moved on to a well-known local artist, and I was with her for a year, but then we moved, and so I found Karen Rosasco, who became my mentor. She was able to see our strengths and literally draw them out from us. She gave me the tools, and I've just gone gangbusters with it. The more I worked at it, the better I got, the more passion I got to just get everything out that was coming out of me. And now, I mean, I wake up in the middle of the night with things going through my head, and I can't wait to get up into my studio and get working up there. I think that by me starting painting late in life, I have been a very, very good role model for my children, because they know I didn't do art when they were growing up. And my grandchildren, they think Nana rocks. And my children do too, because I've set goals each year for myself, and I've been attaining them.
Maureen has been accepted in a number of national and international shows and has begun winning prizes. She is currently completing work for a solo show at a prestigious Annapolis gallery next year. Moving to Delmarva has been good for Maureen's creative pursuits.
The first week we were here, I went to a reception at the Dorchester Center for the Arts to meet some artists so I could get in with a group. And the traveling brushes were there, and they made some suggestions as to where to go and what to do. And as my oldest daughter said, I hit the ground running when I retired. But I think with my age comes hopefully a bit of maturity, and I'm at a stage now where I have a better sense of self. If I had become an artist earlier in life, I probably wouldn't be here in Cambridge, because my whole life would have been different.
Influenced by a collage workshop she took last spring, she describes her current color palette as happy colors. She is using a lot of jewel-tone hues associated with the fall, yellows, oranges, and reds, with grass green and hints of blue.
I'm working in acrylic and mixed media now. I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do. I put thin layers of acrylic on, and I scratch and stamp, and then I start collaging some papers on paper towel, tissue paper, the inside of envelopes, anything that's going to give visual or feeling texture to it. And then I start turning the paper around to see if I can see anything. The last year I've focused primarily on the figures, so I start not necessarily throwing paint on, but I use that term, throwing paint on, because I'm just doing it at random. Sometimes I'll put paint down and grab a piece of handy wrap and brayer it, lift it off, and then turn it around, and I make figures out of them. And it is exciting. It's very exciting because I don't know where it's going. And by doing it that way, nobody can say, she doesn't look like that, or he doesn't look like that, or there's a suggestion of a figure without it being anyone in particular. And I'm not putting faces on my figures so that people can put themselves in my paintings.
Maureen's background as a postal carrier inspired her affection for landscapes, along with textures, imagery, and designed forms of text in magazines and letters. They seem to be recurring in her work now. Gauguin once said that it was best to paint from memory because your own soul triumphs. This is a good way to describe Maureen's approach.
Being a rural mail carrier, I spent my life in my car, and I love to travel. Like I said, I'm not painting from photographs anymore. It's all coming out of my heart and my head and where I've been before. And it's evolving, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I've been told by a lot of people that it's very emotional, and I've come to realize that a lot of the figures are actually me in different stages of my life. There's something deep inside of me that's coming out, and I'm just going with it. I'm not forcing anything, I'm just letting it happen.
Maureen's intuitive and experimental methods are born out of a joyful approach to the work, which she suggests all new artists should try.
I know starting out you're very serious, but I would say that if you can make it fun so that you can enjoy it, you'll be amazed at how it flows better. And I think that every painting I've ever done, when I've gotten really serious with it, I've gotten very tight. And when I'm playing and having fun, the work is better because you're freer. And not to take yourself too seriously, because there's always another sheet of paper or another canvas.
Visit our website for a link to Maureen's. She belongs to the Wednesday Morning Artist Group, the Dorchester Center for the Arts, and the Main Street Gallery, all in Cambridge. Well, that's all for this edition of the Delmarva Almanac. We'd like to thank our community partners, the Friends of Delmarva Public Radio, the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore, and underwriters, eatdrinkbuyart.com, for their help in bringing this program to you, our audience. Our theme music was provided by Brightside Studio. This show has been a Moonshell production. Thanks for listening. Until we meet again, may the rhythms and tides of Delmarva bring you good fortune.